All right. We are live. Give me just a second while I look at a couple things. Okay. Here we go. All right. We are live. We are ready to go. And I'm going to get into it. Okay. We were almost done. So I don't know who this is yet. I feel like it's got to be you. The only top man left. Oh, yeah, we don't know who that guy is. Still. So we got stuff with the Doom to deal with. Bookmark memories. Look at memories again. Go to first memory. There's this one. So he's in this memory. And then that's the last memory he's in. Oh, okay. I start her memory from her body. That makes sense. I'm gonna assume that this guy fell overboard. Because, like, I don't know what else. Let's mark his memories. So he's in this. He's in the bitter cold. So is he a top man? And then is this guy actually a seaman? Or so like these two are some of the only ones I'm confident of. No, him I'm confident of as well. You're an unknown seaman. God, some of these guys are such a pain in the ass. Man, this is irritating. Oh. There's 3 more. So what else are we missing here? starting to think now. Let's go to the escape real quick. Look at some of this dialogue. So didn't expect that. It's 2 more fates correct. So it's this guy. And this guy. And if I'm saying that that guy's the bosun's mate. Man, we were so close to being done with this game yesterday, and it drives me nuts that I just didn't have time to finish the game.
Go. Storm's nearly about, so we won't be coming back.
Game.
Finally. Sit down so you don't fall out.
No. Don't tell me what to do. Alright, honorable release to new company insurance assessment for the good ship Obra Dinn, victim of calamitous events at sea. Prepared by the Company Office of Investigation. Ship damaged in squall. Atlantic sunken storm. Falmouth payout claimed 20,000. Cargo. All cargo lost. Property claim or payout claimed £5,000. Cargo for the Crown. All cargo lost £3,000. Mute. Wait, never mind. My headphones were still connected. Oh, to something else. I was saying, I'm like, if I've gone this whole time and yeah, I'm like, woo, fucking scare me, Francesca. Captain Robert Witterell, suicide in game. Murder of crewmate 4, estate forfeit to the Crown. That's good. Criminal findings, attempted mutiny, estate fined £25. Was playing Uncharted, great game. Never played it, but always looked good. I feel like it's a little unfair for Charles Minor to be like he murdered a crewmate. I'm like, he shot at a monster and he missed and the bullet went through a wall and killed somebody like who was already probably dead, going to die. The first Uncharted I played was Golden Abyss on the PS Vita. Shitty, everything but the game was fun. So I picked up the first 3 games remastered for £6 at a market. Let's go. Alright, I'm not gonna... Who is it? Good deal too, because the PS5 version costs about £53. I found the PS4 version, which is practically identical. Let's go.
Can you believe it? A package at this hour. Oh, the thing smells just dreadful. Better you don't open it inside.
Don't tell me what to do.
Tea's in the kitchen.
So I think now we'll get to see the section of the story that was like hidden from us. Chief Inspector, I write to you with the unfortunate news that Dr. Evans has passed away. He had come to his illness shortly after receiving your package. He's very pleased with the correspondence and asks that his gratitude be expressed by returning the book to you, along with the means to complete it. As for the 3 of us that remain, The Obra Dinn is a distant memory and a dreadful chapter in our lives that we wish to forget. Do not write back. Regards, Jane Bird. Bitch, you killed someone. Am I hearing things, or were there voices in the background, or is that just the game? That was the game. Why do I have a monkey's paw? Why? So I just want to be sure. Henry Evans, right, is the surgeon, right? Yeah. Monkey paw equals greed.
Collect your things. Where's the key? To that door. Gone? Yeah. There's no time. We need to go. Right. What are you up to?
The fuck? How did Martin die? So the doctor fucking. What the fuck? What's the funny? I saw someone crying during a physics exam. The teacher just kept asking him, "What's the matter?" Could be better. Friendly but not entirely pleasant monkey companion was sacrificed in pursuit of knowledge. Guess we're finding out what happened to you.
A third shell. Captain didn't toss them all. Leave it. Help me lift this. Stop! Why? Well, set you free. Give it the shell. Do it. Hoist it out. To the main deck. Throw it over. Lock the door when you leave. Get the tail, boy.
Songs you know that are just badass. I'm building up a playlist called Can't Hear You Over the Soundtrack, and so far I have Captain's, Tarantula, and Freebird. Yes, only the essentials.
The ship.
I've always been a fan of Pain for Pleasure by Sum 41.
Obra Dinn. See it home.
Also, what the fuck is Pentiment? That's the... Well, every time I see that word, I want to say tarantula. Which is why I say it's so fucking weird, because I keep wanting to say tarantula. And Pentiment is the game that we're going to play after this. Okay, but like, what game is Pentiment? I don't understand your question. Okay, so what game is Pentiment and what kind of game is Pentiment are two different things. It's like a puzzle mystery kind of game. It's more story driven than what we're doing right now, though. But it takes place in like, I don't remember when Martin Luther was alive, but it takes place around that time in the Holy Roman Empire, I believe. It's kind of like you show up to a town to do a job and shit doesn't seem right, and so you're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Wasn't that like 1,500 years ago? It was not 1,500 years ago. It was a while ago. If I had to guess, it would be around 500 years ago. So it's Five Nights at Freddy's. Yes, it's Five Nights at Freddy's.
What's this? Quicksilver.
It's definitely not going to be a redeem sound. I love the achievement's called Obra Dinn. That's good. So are we done with the Obra D's or what? Yes, we are. It's really funny to me that like we literally only had like half an hour of that game left to go yesterday, and I just like did not have the time to finish it up. The end. All right. It's a Pentiment now. Broly cut off the credits. I mean, they're playing now. Now I've cut off the credits. It's been a while since we've seen this. Okay. So the tags on Pentiment, just for what it's worth, are historical, adventure, story-rich, and investigation. Sounds kind of loud, so hold on a second. It's so FNAF. Yeah, it's exactly FNAF. Okay. Easy read fonts. Game uses stylized fonts and writing effects that may be difficult for some readers. The easy read fonts option improves legibility, disabling some fonts and writing effects. We'll use stylized fonts. Stylized fonts. Jesus. There's an autosave. Five Nights at Federal Prison. My uncle played that game. Oh, what the fuck? How long is this game? No idea. My wife played it a couple years ago when it came out. And I don't imagine it'll take me too long. I imagine we'll probably finish it by the end of next week. How long is this game you've never played, Jack? Tell me. Like... Exactly what's wrong with that? I don't know. I do like there's nothing wrong with asking. It's the Mr. Helpful part. The sarcasm is the annoying thing. So some of the things I do know about this game. So we play as a character who is like an illustrator for medieval manuscripts. Good. I'm at least 50% sarcasm. You gotta keep taking everything I say with a grain of salt. It said to me, Andreas, I want you to distract you in your sister's library. I need you to finish this commission by the end of April. Keep your conversation with your brother Piero to a minimum. What? There's some Manuel Samuel looking ass art style. I guess I should be reading this. Despite your abbot's ire, you must endure. Soon you will finish both the abbot's work as well as your masterpiece, and you will return to Nuremberg, where marriage and your new life as a master await you. Yes, marriage to someone who he has never met, hardly ideal. Well, the alternative is becoming a philosopher. Oh Jesus, then you should definitely get married. Is she pretty at least? That's what my brother said in his letters, but he's trying to lift my spirits. The small portrait they sent me was lovely, but the artists can be flatterers. Oh, who knows? That's not why I'm doing it anyway. It's growing late. The wheel of time stops for no man, Andreas. I fear you must leave us. Ah, true, your majesty. Visit us again soon. Hopefully out of my control. I don't know. I can't always remove this place, your majesty. As are many things. Trust in Providence. Grovian, please see Andreas safely home. Yes, of course, your majesty. Until next time, Andreas. Until next time, your majesty. Pay no mind to the other fools, Andreas. I never do. At least they could stop stepping on my feet. Watch where you're going. They're fools, Andreas. No point in trying to teach them anything. I know old John wants you to endure the abbot's shit, but since I take you home, I get the last word. Don't let him run you ragged, boy. Words, reading, literature, boring. I mean, Pokemon is like mostly reading. Alright, now it's started who brought you in. If he wants your work is to deal with you as you are. I like this guy. I give up. Take me home, Griffin. As you wish, Andreas. Book is about fighting creatures and forcing them into your balls and making them fight to the death in gladiatorial combat. Good morning, Ursula. Goom and Durud. Part 1, The Baron, April 15th, or April 1518. The Picatrix Kiosal of Sulman. I mean, there we go. I don't understand. Should really clean this up. J. Another day, another few pages for the abbot, and hopefully a few for myself. I need to get across town and head up to the abbey so I can start work at the scriptorium. Well, I don't have a different thumbnail. As far as I can tell, the game we're playing has changed to Pentiment. So, maybe refresh. Bring Andreas to sleep well. Ooh, that's not what I meant to. She's some of the rye you like from the islands. I wanted to ask you to join me for dinner in the abbey. How to stop by? Chat, what the fuck? Okay. Yes, around dawn. Here you are, Andreas. Listeners, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, would it be too much trouble if you paid next month's rent today? If we raised it by 2 groschen. Groschen is a type of thick silver coin minted through the Holy Roman Empire. Groschen are typically worth 12 pennigs. But maybe, or pfennigs? It's probably pfennigs. But maybe minted at different values. I hate to ask, but we're behind on our taxes to the Abbey. 2 months behind. Peter's losing a hair over it even more than usual, I mean. I'm gonna try to respond to this. Rent wasn't due to the beginning of May. Be generous, Andreas. You can spare the money, and it will ease their burden. You must take the consequences of inaction into account. What is this shit? They don't pay taxes. Don't they pay taxes every year? Why is this falling on you to fix? So this is one of those things where like my choices are going to matter down the line. And I don't know what that ends up meaning. Essentially, you must. What do you think, Francesca? And while you're thinking about that, what about well, yes, taxes, but like. Um, the third one. God, that seems so harsh. I'll go in the middle. I was gonna go. I wanted to lean toward the generous one, but god damn. I didn't ask which one should I do. I wanted your opinion. Different. King Luke, Christian evangelist and patron saint of artists and physicians, often represented by a winged bull. In my opinion, this fact caused spaghetti. Something I'm afraid most of my days are spent doing work for the Abbey. It's only during the divine office that prior allows me to work on my masterpiece. Prayer times is worked by all Christian monastic orders. Monks and nuns pray together 7 times a day and once at night, as dictated by the rule of Saint Benedict. Whoops. A reasonable restriction, but slow going. The city council doesn't require it to become a master. I'm making it mostly to show clients for my own sake. And yes, when I do finish, I will go back to Nuremberg while I'm married and open a workshop of my own. From Nuremberg to university and now traveling the world as an artist. Free Imperials of the Holy Roman Empire. Major trade centers, arts, and printing. So I think that like the different like fonts they use are to like try and describe how people speak and also like status in some way. The life that you have ahead of you, Master Andreas. Yes, I suppose it does feel like I'm starting a new chapter in my life after some wandering. Must be rather frightening starting all over again. What to my family makes my life? It is, but I know this is what I want to do. Not many people could decide that. Certainly not anyone in Tassing. I don't know anything about art, but I've seen your sketching. You sketching such beautiful things in your little book. Give me a sec. trying to make sure I was recording this whole time. Did I see the Gen 3 leaks? I have not. Masterpiece must be wonderful. It's getting there. Hard work will get you all the way. That's what my father used to say. God rest his soul. I have to get back to my own work. Have a good day at the Abbey. See you after Vespers for supper. Monastic hour at dusk, one of the major prayer hours, is followed by supper. Not tonight, but thank you. Klaus Drucker has invited me over for supper. Of course, please say hello to the Druckers for us. Of course, until later, Clara. God bless. Andreas. Ah, yes, Andreas. Well, it has been god awful. This town's gone to shit since my days. It's different beer and piss. Old Abbot didn't bother us much about our customs. He didn't mind if we left a little offering to Perkta, pagan goddess of the Alps, associated with animals and spinning wool. She is still invoked by some Christians in Austria, Switzerland, Bavaria, and Swabia. Keep the skies clear, the weather fair. Matthias knew that Christ was in our hearts, even if the White Lady's name was on our lips. Yes, Saints say it too, but who do you think would protect it before they came along? The Saints weren't the first to watch first to watch overtassing. Father knew that. Old Rennig Kemper, the late husband of Octilia. Bastard Abbott may not like it, but some of us keep the traditions alive. The Abbey. Sounds like the Abbot. It's like, okay. Hey, Big George. Yeah, still in the field. Hit a big rock with the plow, and it took me Lord knows how long to pull it out. This is a swearful game. Devs discovered swear roads yesterday. You off to the Abbey. Right, thank God for Sundays. Smells like a storm's coming. Smells like fresh alpine air to me. You've been traveling too much. Where was it you spent your wandering years during which pick a background that will affect your character's choices going forward. Press and hold to confirm your choice. Basil engine some Italian or French and can reference cultural touchstones from Basil. Low countries, some Dutch, French can reference cultural touchstones from Antwerp, Bruges, and Ghent. Another Italian, a little Greek, and can reference cultural touchstones from Florence, Venice, and Milan. I'll let you actually make this decision, Francesca. Though I assume I'm willing to bet which one you will say. Yo, Italy? You want me to pick Italy then? Drink reveal. It's monster again. It's the ultraviolet monster. So like the grape flavored one. Italy, no wonder your senses are dull. You've been down there too long. What an asshole. Spend enough time in these mountains and you'll be able to smell a storm coming. How long will that take? 10, 15 years? I don't think I have that long, Big George. Yeah, excuse me, George. What do you spend all the time in Italy doing anyway, other than art? I mean, hedonist. Andreas takes out pleasure wherever he goes. Extremely social and well experienced in all the enjoyable vices of the world. Craftsman lives to work and dedicates his time to his art. Bookworm. Andreas spends all of his non-working free time finding and reading as many books as possibly can. Rapscallion. Andreas has a penchant for getting involved in petty schemes, pranks, minor crimes, and fistfights. Businessman. Andreas devotes much of his time to self-promoting, optimizing business expenses, making investments, and balancing his books. I personally would prefer to not do hedonist or rapscallion. I'm not doing rapscallion. I think I would prefer one of these three. I'm trying to think. Do it for the vine. Vine's dead. Do it for the gram. I'm not on Instagram. Pick a number between 1 and 3.
3.
Alright, 3 it is, businessman. Do it for the glory of Italy, then. Learning how to run a business, the art will come with time. But how to manage finances, deal with clients, have to secure my place in the world when I become a master. It's gonna come from coin. You're a smart man, Andreas. Wish I could say anyone in my family knew anything about business. Most years you barely have enough to get by. Peasant's lot, I suppose. Anyway, gotta get going. George, let's go. Dad already acting like I'm taking too long, even though I did all the work to get that rock out. See you later, Andreas. Until later. Bye, Big George. To the commons. Oh, Andres, good timing. Does the guy look like George from Halo Reach? I mean, maybe? That makes me want to play Halo Reach. I mean, he's just big, and their names are both George, but like, George from Halo Reach had like dark hair, and was also like 50. Objective survive, yeah. A moment to lend me a hand. I am already late to the Abbey. I swear it won't be long. Alright then. Wonderful. I've got too many irons in the fire. Or rather shoes, horseshoes. I miscounted how many I put in. Now I need a hand. Also overheat and I won't be able to work the metal. Here, take the shoe and the tongs. The hot part of the shoe on the anvil and I'll hit it with the hammer. Doesn't Reese let you have custom Spartan armor? To a certain extent, yeah. Thanks for the help, Andreas. I don't know what I was thinking doing all those at once. You must have someone help me out here every day. Considered an apprentice. I have. None of the boys in the village seem interested. Keep at them. I bet you could get Burt Drucker. Ha, Klaus would have my head if I tried. Anyway, don't want to take up any more of your time. I'll see you and Otto up by the Abbey guest house for dinner. Until then. Okay, good. So I can run. What the fuck's going on over there? Because I saw a badger run around in red and yellow armor looking like Ronald fucking McDonald. Or McFucking Donald. Martin, please, can you give me a hand here? You want keeping an eye on him. This looks like a lot like Santa doing nothing. Martin, for Christ's sake, help your cousin. Morning, Andreas. Jesus, one of the fence rails fell and the sheep started hopping it. Yeah, you can like customize the color of your Spartan armor, and then like there's a bunch of different possible like customization options for your Spartan armor and Reach. We should do with the boys, just 7 fucking Spartans charging the Covenant. It seemed lucky that worked up since Peter and Clara's red. Okay. When Johann pull his pants down. Knock 2 of my man's teeth out. You wouldn't want to feel the strength behind a stonemason's anger. He's a noble, he looks really rich. Damn it, Martin, stay out of trouble for once. How's Tony? Doing alright. Behave yourself, we don't have enough to deal with right now. Chris, if you wouldn't mind moving your skinny little body up the road, we need to get these sheep under control. Of course, see you later. But Tony's doing okay. He's going to... This weekend we've got our annual... The fuck? This weekend we've got our annual like Halloween disc golf round. He'll be going to that. How's the wife? She's doing all right, doing fine. She just came home yesterday. Her coworker gave her a bunch of old clothes, just like completely unprompted, I think. How's the mother? I don't give a fuck. I don't know that I've talked about this. My mother and I are not on good terms. So, like, we'll talk and we'll be civil, but, like, she's a heinous bitch, and I don't really give a shit. Morning, Klaus. Another day at the Abbey. Another few hours to work on my masterpiece. You have not mentioned that, believe? Yeah, she's, emotionally abusive, and physically abusive. And so like I for the most like I talk to her on occasion, like I'll call her on holidays and her birthday, and I'll take her phone calls and we'll have like just like casual conversations. But she and my mom and her whole family are real pieces of work, and like my wife and I we drew boundaries for like what we find acceptable, and they proceeded to just cross those boundaries repeatedly, so we just don't interact with them very much. You're bad? No, you're fine. If Tony was here, Tony would tell you I do not mind talking about my mother. It's not something I mind at all. Honestly, I bitch about it probably more than I should. But I've been to therapy about it, and I'm totally fine with it. I just like I don't know how well she's doing, and I guess I'm already tangenting, so I'm gonna tangent a little more. So like my mom smoked cigarettes for years, smoked weed for years before it was legal in the state of Illinois to smoke weed. Forgot where she left her weed many times, meaning that I was driving around with her weed before it was legal. Like she'd leave it in the car. She was like high at parties and things like that. Is bad. So, and it's just but she eventually she developed lung cancer. And then after she got her treatment for lung cancer, she like proceeded to not do any of the things that the doctors recommended for her to do. So her health, she wasn't dying of lung cancer, but her health just continued to decline, and she's just like kind of refuses to help herself. If Tony were here, rip, yeah, I guess. But like I'm kind of in a spot where like my mom is not in a good place, but she kind of deserves it. So like she'll be 62 this year, my mom, and like she can't live unassisted, like because she didn't go to physical therapy when she needed to, and she didn't diet when she was supposed to, and like, you know, I had conversations with her where she was just like complaining about her doctors, and I'm like, hey mom, they want you to diet so that they can properly treat you so you can be a functioning human being by yourself, and she just didn't. Sorry. Anyway, back to the game. Good to hear you still coming by for supper tonight. Marie and Bert would love to see you. Okay. You really need to see these new woodcuts I have for an Italian edition of Till. The titular character of a popular 15th century book, Till is a prankster, continually exposing the vices and hypocrisy of others. He's also quite skilled at tricking people into smelling, touching, or eating his excrement. Nice, I guess. Didn't realize, Father Thomas, that you print books in Italian. Come on, Andreas, he's not that strict. I know he's just trying to protect people from adventure stories are questionable repute. He doesn't mind those so much, actually. Well, she did one good thing, and that was having you and your sisters. True. As long as you don't get too carnal. Oh. So, supper tonight after Vespers. Yes, of course. Thank you. Thomas. God bless Master Howler. I hope your week is going well. Good, Andreas. I don't recall seeing you at Sunday morning mass. I understand how important it is for your salvation. You receive Holy Communion, don't you? third option, damn it. My, what a blessed day to receive such an illustrious visitor. Master Mailer. This is Lorenz, Baron of Rothvogel. A great lord from the countryside near Worms. Prosperous imperial free city in the western part of the empire, located on the Rhine. Worms has been the site of many imperial diets. Good to see you, Father Thomas. It's nice to be remembered fondly. I only wish all of your neighbors were as welcoming. Well, yes. What brings you back to our little town? My wife and I were returning. My wife and I were returning from a trip to Venice. Spent a few days in Innsbruck, and it was terribly dull. I mean, it has a certain charm common to these alpine cities, but the place was crawling with nobles for the emperor's diet. The emperor, was he here? Did you see him? Oh, briefly, but he was sitting for a portrait at the time. Quite lovely. I didn't want to bother him or the painter. If Venice isn't that one place in Germany? Like the other place he was visiting? I assume, like... Oh, the third option? You want me to talk about Venice? Fascinating about the cities. Jews now live in their own quarter in the north. The city's artists are still producing wonderful work. Titian in particular is a god. No offense, Father. Of course. Anyway, my wife wanted to stay a bit longer in Innsbruck. Innsbruck, capital of the Austrian country of Tyrol and major stop in the imperial road connecting Italy and Bavaria. Its closest major city to Kisrau, Abbey, and Tassing. Notably, it was also the site of witch trials in 1485. So this is around the time Shakespeare set The Merchant of Venice. I know less about Shakespeare than I do about like history in general, I think. So that's a good question. And I've also never read or watched Merchant of Venice. I heard Father Matthias died shortly after my last visit, of course. A great loss for the Abbey and for us all. Indeed, by good fortune, I recently came across a copy of the Historia Tasse, an accounting of the early history of Tassing. Kisra's previous abbot, Father Matthias, had a copy. Baron Rothvogel brought another to the abbey as a gift. He was reading during my last visit. Father Matthias was hoping to find a second copy to corroborate the contents of the first. It contains the fascinating details about the history of this place. I'm afraid they might even cause a bit of a scandal. When I must see off, there will be time enough to discuss Tassing's past later. Sorry. There's a manuscript from the Abbey through Father Gurnot, and I have come to check his progress. Oh, my lord, if you have come to see your manuscript, then you should speak with young Master Malak here. Not a master yet. Andreas is journeyman artist from Nuremberg. For the next few months, he's also helping the Abbey's scriptorium. Nuremberg artist working in Abbey's scriptorium in 1518. Oh, we should talk, Andreas. I must know the story. Scriptorium, a room for writing, illustrating, illuminating manuscripts. Although typically associated with monasteries, they have disappeared from almost all abbeys by the 16th century. Finally, oh wait, Shylock was a Jew who hated Antonio, who was a merchant who lived in Venice, and main character, and he lent Antonio money, Antonio's ships went to fuck, so he couldn't pay it back. Then there's the whole law thing. Finally, year 8 English classes are useful. If he makes a fuss, I'll have a word with the Prince Bishop of Racing. Religious and secular ruler of scattered territories in the Holy Roman Empire, including the lands containing Tassing and Cicero Abbey. Thank you for your introduction, Father Thomas. Come to supper at the Abbey tonight. I'm inviting you to the Abbot's table. Did the Abbot invite me? Oh, don't worry about it, Father. Just show up after Vespers. What was he going to do? Refuse us? Basically, Shylock wanted a pound of Antonio's flesh for each gold ducat he couldn't pay back. We lent him 3,000. Then the woman had to pose as men and use power of estrogen to make sure Antonio doesn't get killed. Excellent. We'll see you then. Nicholas, I'm dismounting. Run ahead of us to take these horses to the Abbey's guest house. I'd like to take my time talking with Master Maller. I'll see you there. I'll meet you there. At once, my lord. Alright, so I'm gonna have to bail on dinner with these other people, which sucks. So then a journeyman from Nuremberg. Forgive me for saying so, but you seem a little old to not yet be a master. You said you were unmarried? No, I'm not unmarried, but in truth I came to my vocation later. No, I'm not married, but in truth I came to my vocation later than my father and brothers. I was in university for a number of years at Erfurt. Erfurt, wonderful, the same university as Martin Luther. Have you read his works? Tremendous mind. Says things about the church that should have been said years ago. Might get him into trouble, but he's a brave, brilliant man. Wait, you may have even met him. Did you? You must tell me. No, he was a few years ahead of me. Still, his ideas are fascinating. I agree wholeheartedly. I simply must meet him if I get the chance. Learn something new every day. Martin Luther came to the university, but he wasn't even born yet. I wonder if the good brothers of the Abbey have heard of him. Perhaps they have even read it. His list of 95 theses against the church. Father Matthias was not above having a lively debate. I hope Father... What's this? Advocate of Father Gernot, widely respected by the monks and nuns as well as the people of Tassing, known for his kindness and his love of books. I hope Father Gernot does not disappoint in that regard. But enough about Luther for now. Tell me about university studies. Oh no, my family's merely wealthy enough to have provided me with all the books and tutors child could dream of. I love all knowledge from Aristotle and Cicero to Ficino. Marsilio Ficino was a 15th century Italian priest and humanist who is one of the leading figures of the Italian Renaissance. He was well known for his translations of the works of Plato into Latin. And Erasmus Rama, Dutch priest, philosopher. Stream idea, Wikipedia speedruns. Like, where it's like how long can you get from one page chosen at random to another page? Because I've seen that occasionally. Like I'm vaguely familiar with the idea. I may have misjudged the Baron since he is as well read as any university student. In truth, I'm simply happy to speak with another well-educated man. Now then, did you earn your doctorate? Oh, so my opinion of him changed, so the fonts have changed. Interesting. No, I didn't. Only a master's degree. I started working towards a doctorate, but then didn't finish. Oh, that's a shame. Well, And what was your area of study? Andreas is a strong understanding of Catholic theology, biblical knowledge, canon law, heresies, and similar subjects. In imperial law, Andreas knows the basics of the fractured system of laws that govern the various states of the Holy Roman Empire. Or medicine, Andreas is familiar with the basics of human biology, medicine, and illness. I'll let you pick this one. Law? Just confirm for me that you want me to pick law. I being of mind, body, and soul. Why should you choose law? You forgot the sound part. Being of sound, mind, and body. Law, I suppose I thought I could practice in Nuremberg. I never had much interest in the subject, honestly. Bit dull for my tastes. Besides, the Empire is such a mess of jurisdictions. Bavarian law, Rhenish law, Franconian law. Nonsense. I'd rather use my money to pay someone who's study the nonsense than learn it myself. If I had any faith, I would have prayed you'd never show your face here again. Curse you, Lorenz Rothvogel. In fact, his dogs tearing you to pieces would be too kind to fate. The fuck? The rest of the community display a shocking lack of hospitality, don't you think? Actually, you forgot the sound part. Who knows? By the time I finish guessing, the old crone will probably be dead. Well, what of your early time in university? Every student must study the trivium and quadrivium. Lower and upper divisions of classical liberal arts, university education, Latin, grammar, logic, rhetoric, form the trivium, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy for the quadrivium. Favorite subjects. Latinist. Command of Latin, grammar, and vocabulary. You can also recall sententia antiquae, quoted words of wisdom from the Roman. Instinctively thinks through the implications of information as he receives it. Is adept at spatial analysis and can easily perform complicated calculations in his head. Order. Andreas excelled at rhetoric in university. He is a skilled teacher, persuader, and public speaker. Cultist knows a soul-endangering amount of theoretical and practical knowledge on alchemy, astrology, theurgy, necromancy, and various magical rites and ceremonies. Heavens and earth. Andreas knows a great deal about the constellations, heavenly bodies, and their movement. He is also familiar with various plants and animals from study and personal experience. Never mind, choose occultist. I feel like occultist is the fun one, right? I feel like these three are like the most would like these two feel like they're the most like obviously helpful, and then maybe Latinist, and then Heavens and Earth. I don't know when that would be helpful, but it probably is more helpful than occultist. It is the fun one. Yeah, I feel like we gotta go occultist. I use my access to the university's library to pursue more esoteric interests. Oh, esoteric how? Mystical text, book on alchemy, invoking spirits, divination, purely academic, of course. Of course. Since when do we play... Oh. Since when do we play games with either strategy in mind? Yeah. I started with the features. Compilation 17 religious possible trees encompassing That's when you play games of strategy, mine. Uh, if I was like going for like specific things, I guess I would care more. But um, and your other studies, was there anything else you excelled at? Oh, so we get a second chance. You want me to pick Latinus for the second one? Since that was like your first instinct? Yeah. Course on Latin. It's useful in many ways, but especially for understanding manuscripts. Wonderful, beautiful language used in the greatest empire of the ancient world. Tell me, what's your favorite sententia? Using Erasmus is cheating. A little bit of Erasmus paraphrasing Aristotle. Fair, if you don't mind dipping your Latin cup into a Greek well. There's the Abbey. Have you memories of this place and Father Matthias? I'm sad to hear of his passing. How'd you come to know him? How'd you know of Kisra at all? My family have been patrons of Kisra for I don't know how many years. How many generations? Some years ago, I heard that Kisra had a wonderful library and artisans. Professional artists have taken over most manuscripts to production. I was shocked to find an active scriptorium here. Not much left of it these days. 2 old men, a young scribe, and me. It's a good place as any to create art. Artists that remain here are quite talented, if a bit old-fashioned. Well, perhaps it's nostalgia that brings me back here. Commissioned a manuscript through Father a year ago. I thought I would stop by and check the progress. Wait, are you the artist working on it? It's a prayer book with 20 illustrations. I know the work, but no. I do know the artist well, the venerable brother Piero. How venerable. He still has his wits and his skills, if that's what concerns you. Brother Piero has an incredible talent with color. I look forward to see it. Fun fact, Aristotle believed everything on Earth is made of water, fire, earth, or air. Funny, because long ago, 4 nations, specifically those elements, and they coexisted. Let's not keep the abbot waiting any longer. Nuns. Quite unusual for a Benedictine house to have monks and nuns, even if they are separated. Church closed most of them centuries ago. I think history is a place out of time in more ways than one. We're acquainted, yes, so let's leave it at that. I'm going to be Father Gano. I am Lorenz, Baron of... Yes, the Baron of Rothvogel. So wonderful to have you here again. We actually did meet on your last visit. If you say so, I'm not good with remembering faces. Please forgive me, my lord, but I wasn't expecting you for another few days. Yes, I know what I wrote ahead. I just couldn't wait to see my manuscript. I'm sure it's no trouble. Well, no, it's no trouble. Did you want to see it now? Oh, in a moment. Do with a bit of refreshment, though. May I grab something from the kitchen? Yes, certainly, my lord. I will meet you there. Andreas, I don't know what you were doing with the Baron, but I need you in the scriptorium now. Shrine, church, cloister. Guest house. Alright. Map. Okay, the scriptorium's way far away. Damn. Hi, Destroyer. Cloister, they didn't have Pokemon back then. No, they did not. God bless you, Andreas. Is your voice recovered from the Easter Mass, Rudiger? Yes, there's been a strain, but a worthy sacrifice. Well, if the Lord give us it all on Easter, exactly. We have a good day. Have a good day in the scriptorium. Have a good day singing. Same as yesterday. Does my vocation not seem silly to you, Master Mahler? You go in peace, friend, knowing that the Abbey's treasures are secure for another day. God be with you. As part of the evening, Father Bruno, you'll be paid in the completion of each additional manuscript you illuminate, not before. Some Roman centurion slaughtering an innocent family over losing to Whitney? What? Not without good reason, the Abbey runs through mutual agreements, not haphazard payments. Breaking these contracts would cause undue trouble, not only for Kisro, but for Tassing as well. This is about Andreas. Girls have been asking me for their rent early. Saying they pay their taxes to the Abbey. Definitely not. I'm not lying. This money I would be paid eventually. This money I'd be paid eventually, and it would be a great relief. Very well. Do not ask this of me again, Andreas Mahler. Difficult. Here you are. I shall note this with Father Ganoet and Prior. Thank you, Brother Matthew. God bless you, Andreas. I got my payment. I can give Carter early. Andreas, God bless you. So good to see you. Good morning, Brother Piero. Good to see you as well. I don't like this weather. My bones ache. It means a storm is coming. Like George Gertner said, if you live here 10 or 15 years, you can smell the storms coming. Brother Aladoc has been here long enough that we can always smell him coming. Adoc. Don't forget, Brother Guy, the fate of... I went through that too fast. Are you comparing yourself to a prophet? I'm comparing you to an impudent youth whom the Lord, in his ineffable wisdom, may choose to strike down. Brother Guy, yeah. So yeah, that's Andreas. The old fart can defend himself well enough. I need no defense against the likes of you. God protects his faithful against well, everyone seems quite lively. I suppose that means Prior Ference is not overseeing us today. He was here, but then he heard... Oh, that guy. Lawrence Rothwell had arrived and he hurried out like a little mouse. Ference is so desperate to impress the abbot and nobles of Rothfogel is pathetic. You feign kindness to Father Abbot and our prior only to speak about them like this behind their backs. It's shameful. Oh no. Oh no, Brother Rothwell hit his manuscripts. I just realized that he will want to see his manuscript. How silly of me. Of course, that's why he is visiting. Perhaps if you were younger and faster, you wouldn't need to worry so much about patrons' visits. Somebody will stand where Piero is, and a young monk will stand where you are now. Or what's the problem? The Baron is just one client. He has to wait like anyone else. Thinking flashbacks to my friend's handwriting with this one. Yes, that one. One time I had to copy his work because I missed a day and gave myself actual mental strain trying to read that shit. Yeah, my handwriting for like what I want people to see and what's like just me taking notes for myself are very different, right? Anyway, what's the problem with Baron is just one client. He has to wait like everyone else. So I said both anyway. Andreas Bernrothfellow is I like it anymore. He has powerful friends, including the Prince Bishop of Freezing. Cusa's already out of favor. Father Abbot does not want to have to deal with more attention. Well, if Ferenc isn't here, I'm going to work on my masterpiece until he arrives. That's right, I need to reference in prominent family. This was Austria. Freezing. What do you want, Andreas? A book, the In der Mauer manuscript, the Book of Hours. A type of illuminated manuscript that contains a abbreviated form of the prayers of the divine office in addition to other religious texts. Most are relatively plain, but wealthy patrons often commission lavish examples of elaborate illustrations. Your hair looks messy today. Did you not get enough sleep? What do you mean? I mean, did you sleep alone, or... Or you want to know, it'd be nice to have something to think about during divine reading. This thought of reading of meditation of scripture, practice leads to prayer and contemplation is daily part of life in Benedictine communities. Have you considered the Lord? You really are a cloud on a sunny day, Andreas. God, just get the book. It's all the way upstairs. Can't you get by without it? Oops. Saw an ad for license plate key rings. Do you realize how stupid that is? If you don't know your license plate off the top of your head, you shouldn't be able to drive. Honestly, I would struggle to give my license plate off the top of my head. Because I look at it so infrequently. My keys are stolen, then they know exactly which car to steal. That's fair. That's a fair point. Andreas. I didn't think that you were. Sir. The poor attitude toward her vocation. The rule of St. Benedict is a book of instructions, monks living together under the guidance of an abbot, written in the 6th century. The rule provides principles for living a monastic life. I bet your Jax, you get a pass. Fair enough. Not her vacation, she shouldn't be here. You expect too much of a young woman who's locked up in an abbey. I imagine it takes time, some longer than others, to accept their new lives here. It's not your place to judge sisters here, even one is really a sister. I didn't mean to say that. I wanted to see what you had said before. Fuck. In any case, I heard you requesting the... please return it promptly. Andreas, may I see how your master's coming? Of course, your opinion is always welcome. Yes, the composition is lovely. There's a joyful spirit in your arrangement of the figures. You shouldn't judge the sister here, even one who's really a Thalin. Yeah. Don't judge her as I judge her. Conscious color is also quite nice. Rich and beautiful on their own, but not overpowering the scene. It's an excellent interpretation of someone else's work. My son, you're copying the illustration from our manuscript almost exactly. Aesthetically, yes, it's wonderful, but I feel like you've not given much thought about what it represents. It's November. In November, we show peasants leading the pigs into the forest to forage on acorns before the slaughter. The peasants here are no longer allowed to forage acorns in the forest. Many great lords and abbots across the empire have forbidden it, even Father Granot. Difference to make, this is the way November is painted. It is not the way November is. Art is illusion, storytelling, but in their most sublime form, these images illuminate a path to truth. Don't judge people, not even the idiots who stand up as soon as the plane lands. It's important to me that my clients are happy. They won't pay me for truth. This masterpiece is a way for me to impress patrons. I can't be concerned with anything else. If money were all you truly cared about, they're more profitable. There are more profitable professions than that of an artist. Andreas, you know the power of art to move people as well as to convey truth. Even something as simple as a book of hours can illuminate a transcendent wisdom. But you need not to listen to my opinions. They're just thoughts of one old monk. There's no place for the monastic scriptor. I don't know if you guys heard that. A dyslexic's worst nightmare? Yeah. There's no place for the monastic scriptorium anymore. The truth's room is a place out of time. I think someone's just dropped something. That or the dogs upstairs knocked something over. Does it make you sad? Why is that? Why is Kisra kept this up for so long? Some places have a difficult time letting go of the past. I'm not among them. Creation of books of art is no longer the province of monasteries. So be it. More people will be able to write. More will be able to read, and in doing so, be brought to truth. Don't you think it's danger in anyone being able to write, anyone being able to read anything? I think there will always be a place for artists like you and Brother Adok. And Brother Guy. It's kind of you say so, Andreas, but you need not be concerned for me. I've lived a long life and am happy to serve the Lord. When he calls for me, I am ready. Ask hour current 9 a.m. One of the little hours of prayer precedes mass and a chapter meeting. Do let the door hit him on the way out. Too much talk. I must ask forgiveness for not honoring the rule. Gotcha. Until later, Andreas. Until later. Weird. What was that noise? Sorry, I just try not to blow it to the floor. But then Friar Frank came in, wrote in one of his books, and slammed it close and left. It's true, I don't think he even noticed me. You slamming a book shut, Friar Frank should know better than that. Some of the manuscripts are quite delicate. He's on edge since Baron arrived early. So my book should not be taken out of the library unless it is necessary for divine reading or work in the scriptorium. I think it's not an appropriate response for a nun, but the fact remains that you tricked me into giving you that book for no valid reason. Not valid. Not valid to want to see the work of one of the great Irish scribes. One who wrote great masterworks that even now grace libraries and Cologne folded in maze. No, it's not. Not unless it pertains to your work or the abbot permits it. Now, if you'll excuse me. Fair enough. Soy Dora. What's up, Trunks? Wait, what's all this fuss about Lorenz? Why is he so nervous? I didn't know you were familiar enough with the man to use his Christian name. Anyway, I haven't dealt with him personally, but the prior and Father Abbot have. I only know that he's purchased a number of our most valuable manuscripts over the years. And he paid enough to help the Abbey when we need it. Can you say felony tax evasion? I don't remember what he bought. You know, I have my own responsibilities to tend to. How about this, Andreas? If you help me recover some missing books, I'll tell you what I know about the Baron. It's for the good of the Abbey. Where should I begin? out there where you and your cohort have carelessly strewn books around the scriptorium, I'll tell you what books I'm looking for, find them, and return them to me. The first books are 2 volumes of the Aeneid. Reddish covers, 14 inches by 10 inches, 3 inches thick. Just for that, you'd get... You're getting purpled? What? They're not his to keep. There's a fair amount of wear on these, I hope you don't mind. The volumes were old even when Piero started to make the copies. How long ago was that? 3 years. He's not one of my favorite stories, but I understand why it appeals to Piero. He shows his duty to the gods over his lover Dido. Gonna make you a scholar of the Roman poetry, Andreas. Words sit easy in my memory. I'm not sure why. Probably out of love rather than duty. You can use the sense of duty appeals to Piero. We all have our vocations. Brother Piero takes his more seriously than most of the others in the abbey. Jack, do a favor, see Tarantella. You clearly take your chosen vocation seriously. Andreas, I didn't have a choice in my vocation. If you women do. Here's how limited our roles and our choices truly are. Because I was ready for it. Have you seen Dan to Dan? I have not started Dan to Dan yet. It's like on my list of things to watch this season. Human stories, we are maidens to be rescued and wed, cruel seducers of men, or wizened crones. Like Dido, we ordinary women are merely tools in the tales of men. Dada Dan is an anime. We can never be the protagonists of our own stories. No woman is exempt from that. From the Empress to a nun, it's our lot. I understand now why you're not a fan of the Aeneid. It's fine poetry for men. Now, the books, if you please. Thank you. Next. Wretched. Oh, God. Personally, Dan to Dan is my top 5. What kind of anime, Jack? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I've heard people talk about it, and that's it. So, the beauty of this book truly belies its ridiculous content. I'm surprised the Abbey owns a copy. We don't. It belongs to Amadeo Rusco of... I gotta stop like using the keys to go through this because then I lose my mouse and then I can't look at the fucking glossary. Loaded to us 5 years ago. It was subsequently lost, and the abbot has received 3 letters about it. I've certainly seen the brothers enjoying it. That book is not appropriate reading for our Benedictine monks. A baby is sold to pirates, raised as a servant, then lives the life of an adventurer, wooing princesses and fighting in tournaments. Forget the best part. In the end, Gurley learns he has royal blood, the son of a duke. He reigns as a king and dies a pious hermit. What's not to love? We should be dreaming of reconciliation with our Lord, not lusty adventures. If it's anything like the anime Jack watches, keep him away from it. What the fuck are you talking about? It's not my place to reprimand anyone for reading stories, least while you, Andreas. Still, we must be on guard. I don't know what you mean. Like, what anime do you think I watch, Francesca? I need to study for my finals, so I gotta leave. Hope your stream goes well. Thanks, Trunks. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Fantasy leads to temptation. Temptation leads to the downfall of many men and women. Sometimes, yes, but books like this, it's all the same type of fantasy, isn't it? To die better than we were born. And that's what's the problem with that? Why shouldn't a peasant dream of being a king? There's neither... I think that says Jew. There is neither Jew nor Greek, neither slave nor free, neither male nor female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. We may be one in Christ, but we are not equal in this world. It isn't this world you should be concerned with, Andreas. But the book, Andreas, we must return it if you like the abbot to receive a fourth letter. Oh, are you a legal scholar now as well as an artist? I don't care, I'm not concerned with the legality, but the principle, the book, please. Remember that scripture from RE? From Resident Evil? There's only one book left, then you will be freed from bondage. Dark red cover, 8 inches high, 5 inches across, 2 inches thick. I think about a guy who's always been guarded about this book, like he was hiding it. Very good, please bring it here. What is it anyway? No, maybe I should have learned French at some point. What is this? Alright, asking so many questions, just give it to me. Why don't you tell me what the book is? Religious education, quite the opposite. Oh. Because it's a dangerous book, Andreas Maller. The only, or one the previous abbot tolerated in spite of a papal order to destroy it. 3 French bishops condemned the book. All copies were to be burned. Its author shared the same fate. But why? I don't know, Andreas. It's not my place to question the judgment of one bishop, much less 3. And before you ask, no, I haven't read it, but I know it contains a dialogue between love and reason. So the book is dangerous. Who did the bishops condemn it? I never had like a formal religious education. Like I had no class for that. I went to like after school programs occasionally 200 years ago. Why is it still here? I wish I didn't. I think that generally speaking, it is better just, like, even if it's not something you agree with or that you practice, it's important to have an education in things. Or to be educated in a subject is not inherently a bad thing, right? Like, I'm not a very religious person, and I don't really practice. And it is because of my, like, what education I have with religion that I don't practice. I don't particularly care for it. Because Father Matthias loved books, all books, he didn't want to see it destroyed. I'm just gonna say I can sympathize with him. That's fine, but Father Matthias is gone. It's not my place to question for but Father you're gonna learn his position he wanted destroyed. No, I haven't heard KSI's new song. I don't know that I've ever heard any song from KSI. Yeah, I was already educated because my entire family was Christian. My grandfather was a Jehovah's Witness, and was always teaching me shit, so I didn't need it. Yeah, I grew up like in an evangelical family, which I don't know how common that is in Europe, like evangelical Christianity. But my experience with it it's never been particularly welcoming. Evangelical as a word means like evangelism is to go out and share gospel, and so evangelical churches, like the cornerstone of that is to go out and spread the gospel, which is to takes the form of going on missions and things like that. But it's become, from my experience, a place of far-right sentiment from the experiences I've had in life. I didn't say missionary, I said go on missions. But the people who go on missions are missionaries. It's just from my experience, a lot of evangelicals I've come to know. Clearly, I don't mean to say that all evangelicals are this way, but my experience is generally that a lot of the evangelicals I know are bigoted. Good for the best, thank you. I don't really want to give this book over, but also I'm like, I don't really want to make waves. The way you do a fucking PR speech every time. I just don't want to be misunderstood when possible. Baron, quickly though, I need to finish up here soon. I don't really care about this. I don't really care about this. It's definitely one of these two that I would rather pick. Heard of it, but I've never read it, and I know little about its contents. Subject's broad, but I believe the book deals specifically with the Roman occupation of this land. Can't come into this form out of its mind. I understand him to be a virtuous and charitable man, sometimes to a fault. Oh, he's Atreus mewing. That's just his face. Always best when an abbot considers himself a friend to his brothers instead of their shepherd. It's only found in crisis. Without it, virtues are little more than ideals. Don't text and stream. I'm not texting. Just checking it, just to make sure it's nothing important. Well, I must be off to mass. Thank you again for your help, Andreas. Yeah, how do you get to the church? You can't enter the scriptorium. I thought this only door was to the library. You're staying in the oldest part of the Abbey, and like any old place, it has its share of secrets. Good day, Andreas. God be with you. So we're sitting down for dinner soon. See if Otto is around, still wants to eat with me. He's working at the guest house below the Abbey. Officer, I wasn't texting, I was watching a YouTube video while driving 90 miles an hour on the highway. The fuck? Whoops. See, I'm busy. Okay. The fuck? Okay, with me. Beato, I'm hungry, let's pray. Here's a song, That's Amore by Dean Martin. Yeah, someone got offended when one person sang it because it was homophobic or something. Pattern injury that galls. It just galls me that the abbot bleeds dry and we're expected to do work here when it suits him. Not all bad. I get a lot of good work for the abbey. Casting pilgrims badges isn't really smithing, but I don't mind. Saw you walking with the Baron in the meadow on your way up here. What's that all about? Some misgivings with the Baron. He fools around with young women. He's married, of course. It's only gossip, and it isn't Christian to spread rumors like that. It's not gossip that he beat up that farmer a few years back. Old Rannig, may he rest in peace. Right. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But if he did that, yes, it speaks poorly of his character. There's an old man who come with an artist. So I imagine you have a lot of time to read when you don't have to worry about where your next meal is going to come from. This bitterness and envy are not good for our Christian souls, Otto. It's not envy. I mean, just no one should get away with what he does, what this Abbey does. No offense to you, Andreas. I don't have any problem with the books the Abbey makes. I mean, I never learned to read, but if people are paying the Abbey to make them, it doesn't bother me. Sure, the wind will be spinning soon. Otto. Okay, there's no need to use. What God wants to happen will happen. So, okay, storm's coming. We should probably get back to it. Right? Catch up with you a moment and just. Just even before you. Andreas, say hi to you before you get a chance. Got it. Whoops. What the fuck is happening over here? So let's breakfast attend the shrine. Should be ensure reliquaries are cared for. Oh, drives beyond the love money. Master Mallor. Sisters make badges in exchange for small donations to protect the pilgrims. Even with the life of Saint words may not. You have to learn something about Tasman Preaching Saint while you're here. By all means. He's well known for his martyrdom at the hands of the Romans. Protected the town of Christians from slaughter, and in turn, he and his legion were decimated. He's a Roman citizen, led a legion, entire Christians into Bavaria. He refused to kill the Christians, even though they were traitors to Rome. The emperor had his legion massacred. Most of the pilgrims who've come visit knowing only this, if anything, about his life. However, Tasman venerates St. Moritz because he was the one to convert the town and save it from destruction. There's some in Tasman who still cling to the pagan traditions he asked God save them. St. Moritz and his legion were snowed into this pass, and the pagan townsfolk refused to aid them. The daughter of the town's leader, Satya, was moved in spirit and snuck from the town to convert. She led Moritz to a spring, and as soon as she was baptized, the snow melted, revealing all manner of fruits. Legion were saved. Town was converted, and rebels fled into the mountains. She too was martyred for her faith by the rebels inhabiting the town. Now her shrine protects Tassing from harm. Carl. Hi, Andreas. Seem busier than usual today. Went in my work, so I went up to the shrine. Hey, Morris this morning to pray for his aid. The candle I lit had all burned away. I was there so long. I need to catch up. Well, truth be told, I only started going to the shrine more often when Helena became pregnant. Her mother had trouble with childbirth, so I've been paying visits to Morris's hand and Sadia's shrine to pray for their aid. I don't want to see this place closed. Brother Prior, I'm working to the best of my abilities, and I dispute your criticism. I may not be fast, but I still have my talent. Praise be to God. Brother Guy, why are you still on this page? What's wrong with you? Normally you're so reliable. Any apologies, Brother Prior? I will work harder. Hero, I can't believe this. Baron Othgall hasn't come to check. Has come to check on his progress, and this is all you have? Should have finished this months ago. Is your mind so corrupted by age you didn't notice the seasons have changed? Well, you're not the one who will have to answer for it, so why should you care? Typical. Anyways, I'll remind you that I am the master of the scriptorium and you are a guest here. I agree, Brother Prior. Brother Pierre's work is unacceptably slow. You're insufferable, Brother Guy. Oh God, give me the patience to endure this. Please, everyone, this is my work, and I'll accept responsibility for it. Brother Frank is right. When you're finished, the style is, well, very old-fashioned. I thought I made my desires clear. I feel like my giant security is being taken advantage of. I'm a fool in this sad story. I know, of course not, my lord. Never. We can fix this, of course. We only want to accommodate you. Ah, Andreas, good to see you again. Abbott already seems annoyed. Father Gurnall, why not have Andreas complete the rest of the illustrations? He's clearly capable. Oh my lord, why not have Brother Guy complete it for this? If speed is your concern. No, I'm not talking about the script. That's fine. The art, the illustrations. I want Andreas to do the other. Of course, I mean Andreas is alright with it. goes. Allays your concerns, my lord. Excellent. By the way, Father Abbot, I am still welcome to your table for supper? Naturally, my lord. Wonderful. I'd like Andreas to join us. Quite unusual. Unusual or not, I doubt my good friend, the Prince Bishop, was having a dish. What do you think? I understand. Yes, you're right. Of course. Andreas may join us for supper. Look forward to it. You had this planned. You must have put your hook in the Baron this morning when you ambushed him in town. Are you mad at me? I'm trying to help. But Prior Andreas is not to blame for all this. I am. Yes, you are, and you've embarrassed me, the Abbot and the Abbey. I would tell you if you're embarrassed. You're too proud. Prior Fennec is right, of course. No wonder we don't get any more commissions. Guy, can you stop flattering the Prior for 1 minute? I kind of want to stay out of it and just say nothing. Like, this doesn't do anything for me, really, I don't think. Like, I've already kind of, like, tried to stick up for the guy. And just being mad at Brother Guy doesn't help. Please, Sister Dania, and I would prefer if you could keep the noise down. It sounds like Samson slaying the Philistines in here. Of course. Back to work, everyone. Well, that was not wonderful, but there's nothing to be done about it now. Finish my work here, wash and lavatory supper at the Abbot's table. The library of the University of Five Churches. There's an astronomy, looks like. I'm not familiar with it. So this looks like scribbled. I like for it to be sloppy. Didn't even plot the ink dry. Libra, Capricorn, Aries, all that's what's written below. Figure out in time, but I'll copy it down for reference later. Interesting. So you can go through the Bailey to the dormitory, I guess? Get through the cloister? No. Cellar, refectory, courtyard, lavatorium. Andrea, so glad you'll be joining us for supper, though the circumstances are unusual to be sure. We'll be able to speak with you, none of the brothers will, but it'll be good to have you with us. That's a shame. I always enjoy our talks. Now, the same doesn't apply to you at the Abbot's table. You can talk all you like, though I wouldn't recommend it. Father Abbot does not look kindly on idle chatter. Anyway, I'm sorry for I treated you. It's not fair. It's humiliating. Oh no, my son. There's no need to worry about me or my pride. And we all need a taste of humility from time to time to keep our feet on this earth. Jesus. No, Andreas. You are my pride. I can't claim to have taught you much, but I am proud to have known you and your work. And when you leave all of us at Curacao Abbey behind, you can call upon your friend Lorenz to help you in your career. Don't trouble yourself over it. Time passes for all of us. Things change. The future will write over the present. You need not fear it, any of it, so long as you remain true to yourself and God. Now I must hurry to the refectory to join my brothers. I will see you inside. Where am I going to? Refectory. Okay. Just glad you could join us. Thank you, my lord. I don't know, Father Thomas. Prior Ferenc. Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." The Gospel of Matthew. Wonderful. Jesus replied, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by flesh and blood, but by the Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it." Have you read Matthew much, Andreas? It's one of those things where, like, some answers I feel like are, like, super inconsequential, and then others are just, like, a big deal, and I don't know which ones are going to be which. I'll give you keys to the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you lose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Then he ordered his disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah. Whatever you bind on heaven and earth will be bound. Bind in on earth will be bound in heaven. That reminds me, Father Goodnow, have you read anything by Martin Luther? I can't say that I... He has some incredible ideas about the church. Brilliant, I think. I love everyone stops talking and turns to him. My lord, is the meal to your liking? I believe I remember you enjoying our quail on your last visit. The quail, my God, Father Abbot, the quail's fine, but don't you think Luther ideas are worth discussing? He's talking about the future of the church, shaking things up in a way I don't think we've seen before. Father Thomas, you see value in his ideas, do you not? My lord, I mean no offense, but I do not. Brother Matthew, yes? How appropriate. What are your thoughts on Luther's attacks on the church's sale of indulgences? Baron, please do not involve the other brothers in this conversation. Fine, fine. What about Andreas? Certainly a man who attended the same university as Martin Luther can spare some thoughts on his work. He's really put me in a difficult position. While joining the debate, it may bring everyone closer to understanding truth. I need to be quiet. I don't know what else to do. To help the abbot, if he can't handle a little criticism, he isn't fit to sit at his table. Although Abbott already fucking hates me. A debate. Excellent. Why not start with the 95 Theses? Enough. Andreas, you should know better. Lord Rothvogel, you are our guest and held in high esteem, but you have worn out my patience. You will not be discussing Luther's work with Andreas, Thomas, Matthew, or with any other brother. Is that clear? I suppose, Father, it is your abbey, but you're taking too much offense at this, and you're far too afraid of change. Whether it's from Luther or someone else, reform is coming to the church. You'd better accept it. What? Neither you nor Martin Luther dictate change to the Holy Church on their whim. This talk is beyond insulting. It's blasphemous, outrageous. How dare you? I see. I've overstepped my bounds, and I suppose I have ruined everyone's supper. My apologies. In spite of this unpleasantness, I will make good on my manuscript payments and the donation of my copy of Historia Tessiae. If you cannot accept what the future will bring, perhaps it's time for you to come to terms with your past. Well, no need to overstay my welcome, brothers. Andreas, good night. Why, Andreas? Why did you engage him? I expect better of you. Now then, I must ask you to leave so I can speak to the brothers in chapter privately. Brother Piero, please accompany Andreas out. I will take my leave as well. Good night. Don't worry about the Father, Joe, and the Baron. I'm sure it will all be fine by morning. I hope Father Abbot can see that the Baron's heart is in the right place, even as he picked the wrong time to express himself. Seems unlikely. Maybe so, but we must never lose hope. In any case, I do hope the Baron respects the Abbot's wishes for the rest of his stay, for everyone's sake. Brother Piero, what do you think of Martin Luther's ideas? That is for younger, wiser men than me to decide. I'm just a monk, thank God. Good night, my son. She, or maybe an old pagan. Maybe the first time people see ghosts around these parts. Interesting. I think I found Johann's last lost sheep. I'm going to head home. Take care, Master Malloy. Detail. Pale horse, still on the floor. Almost the hour for 2 a.m. is used for the night prayer. Sister, listen to my voice. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Yes. Yes, Father, I hear you. Am I here? Is this now? Yes, you're with us, and this is now. Apologies, Andreas. I imagine that must have been quite alarming. Is she alright? She's just this mystic, gives her visions of God. This is fit to give her one. Some are more frightening than others. Isn't it? Yes, I'm a little surprised you haven't noticed her before. If you come to ask more often, you'd see that I give her you through the window, a window to her cell. Her cell? She's an Anchoress, a religious hermit so devoted to God she has enclosed herself in a cell next to the church. She is dead to the world but continues her life of prayer, religious contemplation, and sometimes, ever so rarely, she receives great and terrible visions. Is she local to Tassing, or is she a nun at Crusoe? Neither. She came here from a Benedictine abbey in Lower Bavaria after it burned down. I am her confessor and caretaker. My anchors are not literate. I write down her visions to help interpret them. Thought all the monks and nuns at Kisrao could read, even poor brother Volkbert. Thank you, Father Thomas. I must rest now. Of course, sister. She seems unhappy. She's not unhappy, but she is in pain, both physical and spiritual. Her spiritual pain comes from her revelations. They come and go. I try to address them as best I can. The physical pain comes from a deformity in her spine and aching in her joints. I know of no cure to save prayer to the Almighty. Mr. Amelie was saying she had a vision of death. Could someone be in danger? Oh, no, don't rush to judgment. Her visions are divine and powerful, but they could have many meanings. Some of her revelations takes years to comprehend. Some may never be understood at all. God wills it. Still, the argument at dinner is quite troubling. Perhaps it has cast a shadow over our thoughts. Now then, the good sister appears to have fallen back to sleep. I must prepare for bed myself. Good night, Andreas. Good night, Father. So these are the people who I was invited over, but just like couldn't make it for one reason or another. Never take you for a family man, Andreas. Not yet. Just want to be helpful. Two other brothers, both married, so plenty of nieces, nephews for me to play uncle too. Appreciate the offer. Make a fine husband someday, Andreas. Storm let up. It's going all morning. Peter and George are outside trying to deal with the flooding as best they can. It's always danger this much rain, but we lived through worse. Whatever happens, because God wills it, we must have faith in providence and endure what is to come. Oh, I have some food for you. So I can prepare anything more. Have a good day at the Abbey, Andreas. Thanks, you too. Good luck. Be good, Ursula. I need to pay them. As rain falls down on the Abbey and rolls downhill to the little people. It's hard to blame for the Abbey for that. It's just how rain works. There's a reason we're all down here and they're up there, Andreas. Fair. Anyway, gotta get back to this. See you later. Far more than your rent payment. We can't accept this. You can find so much coin. Are you sure you'll have enough to spare for yourself? Plus you 1,000 times, Andreas. You don't know what this means to us. Happy to help, Clara. Probably best not to mention, of course. I won't mention anything else still. Thank you. I'll let you move on your day. Thank you. Till later. Yeah, I'm like, I definitely didn't want to forget about that. Gotta pet the cat. You gotta. Sorry, I'm just getting just a ton of push notifications in the last couple minutes. And a bunch of them are just from like different people, so I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Be taken care of. God be with you, Andreas, and with you, Father Thomas. Until later. Eat shit, Andreas. Yep, Baron's wife, Ladies Salamia, will be arriving today. My lord intends to depart as soon as she arrives. How long have we been married? 7 years now. She's a fine woman, a true lady. I hope we would travel the Baron before he leaves. I'm sure he would appreciate that. He spoke highly of you before he went to bed. He's glad you were willing to debate him at supper, even though he's sure the abbot will hold it against you. My lord certainly agrees, but he hasn't found many people who share an opinion in Tyrol or Bavaria. Would it be fair to say I found the Baron's favor? It would. My lord bade me give you a token of his friendship in his absence. He says it's a small thing compared to future commissions. He hopes that you will wear it with pride. Your story, Pin. Thank you. Please thank the Baron for me. As you wish, of course. Is the master gone then? You went for a walk early in the morning. He didn't say when he'd be back. Andreas, he never minds getting mud on his boots. Of course, I'm the one who has to clean them. Maybe so. I only know him as my lord for these last 7 years. That reminds you see a short, sorely looking young man in a hat on your way up this morning. He passed me the meadow as I was walking up the hill. He was in quite a hurry. I would explain my lord's missing rings. 1 gold, 1 silver, a handful of coins use currency, okay. And a book the Baron was planning to give to the Abbey. Book, History of Tassier. I believe so, yes. Went to the pack, Baron's things, and they were missing. I caught the boy with the hat, Martin, I suppose, peering through the windows. I could have admonished him at the time, but, well, he seemed harmless. That's a shame. I hope the Baron won't be too put out. My lord is a man of some means. He won't miss the gold or the rings. I didn't think he upset the book. He was quite excited for the abbot to see it. In any case, I must finish preparing the horses. Good talking to you, Andreas. Of course. God willing, until next time. Until then. Bailey and Torum. Oh, this is wonderful. The rest of the abbey is soaked and there's not a drop of rain here. Good thing the abbot had Otto replace the roof, the scriptorium and library last month. With the factory next door, we can stay warm. Everyone else is wet. Instead of bragging about our good fortune, you think about brothers and sisters and pray for their health and safety. Abbot's foresight saved a lot of our work and protected Wit's library. The town hasn't fared well. I'm sure they'll be fine. More importantly, if they're not, I don't care. Brother Guy, your heart is harder than the stone of this floor. Oh, we have the grumpy old monk, but where's the nice one? Brother Pierre, haven't seen him yet today? I did before Brother Guy arrived and we left to speak to the abbot some time ago. Why is Matthew ringing the bell? Can't be terse already. I pray it stops soon. Such a cacophony is assaulting on my frail ears. It's not stopping. It just means being summoned to the chapter house. God, give me strength to endure the rain. It's 50 feet, old man. You'll be fine. Or you'll live. God, give me strength to endure this man. No, it's not what's going on. Can't be all because of the storm. I should see what's the matter. See if there's anything to interact with. Nope. Oops. Cloister. Chapter house. Cemeteries 11, Master Andreas. It's a Baron, he's been hurt. His father, where is brother Florian? Have him come quickly. Be silent, brother. Brother Florian, if you please. Sorry, father, there's nothing to be done, he's dead. Sister Margaret, calm yourself. Sister Gertrude, please take Sister Margaret back to the garden. Yes, Mother Cecilia. God protect us, the Baron was a friend of the Prince Bishop of Racing. Why are you so worried about the Prince Bishop? This abbey is odd in more ways than one. Its existence offends some in the church. We are far enough from Rhone, and means that everyone forgets about us, but this could bring unwanted attention. Florian, how easily do you think you could dispose of this body? Father Abbot, what are you saying? Why are you questioning me? Why are you wasting precious time? Do you want to see the soldiers of the Prince Bishop march up our steps and fling your brothers and sisters out of our home? Father Abbot, Baron's manuscript is already, or manservant is already preparing to leave. The Baron's wife should be here in a matter of hours. This is not time for rashness. Yes, you're right. Forgive me. But then what will we do? We must send the Baron's man to the court of the Prince Bishop in phrasing it once. Cecilia, the Baron said, the Prince Bishop's archdeacon was in Innsbruck for the Imperial Diet. Even better, swift action will silence any whispers of impropriety on our part. Given the Baron's stature, the Archdeacon will undoubtedly come to investigate immediately. We must cooperate with him fully and pray for a speedy resolution. Yes. Good. Thank you, Mother Cecilia. Brother Woslav? Please detain Brother Piero in the cellar until Prince Bishop's man arrives. What, Brother Piero? Why? That's absurd. He was caught in flagrant deficito. Delicto. Indicating an individual has been caught in the act of committing a crime. With a knife in his hand. Father, do you really believe that Brother Piero is capable of such a foul deed? Yes, capable enough when motivated by anger. I had no anger against the Baron, Father Abbot. I simply came across him like this. No anger, not even for insulting your work and forcing us to give it to Andreas? This is not a subject for debate. When the Prince Bishop's man arrives, we must not be empty-handed. If you want to kill the Baron, he's not physically capable of the act. He wasn't angry. Even Guy knows that. quiet. This is not your affair. I'm through debating this with you. My decision stands. Detained by the Piero in the cell until I say otherwise. But before you please escort Andreas out of the Abbey. Andreas, do not show your face here again until tomorrow. Do you understand me? Andreas, listen to me. I sympathize with you. I don't think Piero did this either, but this isn't the time to push the abbot. Sure, the other brothers and sisters believe Piero is innocent as well, but the abbot is worried about the Prince Bishop's attention. Take a few hours to calm your nerves and your mind. You need to think clearly. Go to the Druckers, eat a good meal, and come back. We won't have much time, but tap on my window with a small stone and I'll let you in. I mean, for what? To examine the body. Okay. Alright, I am going to call it there. I've had a handful of work stuff come through that I need to pay attention to. And I think that's as good a place as any. Not quite a cliffhanger, but a bit of a cliffhanger to take our break here. So thank you guys for hanging out. I do appreciate it. I will be live tomorrow, probably around the same time, maybe a little later. I don't have work in the evening like I do today. And as far as I'm aware, I don't have any work in the morning. So probably around the same time. We'll see how long I can go for. But once again, thank you guys for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. You have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you tomorrow.